Live from the House of LeMay Makeup and Dressing Room.
Here comes Amber. Stop what you're doing. Here comes Amber. She's just doing what she can. Here comes Amber. Cue the spotlight. Here comes Amber with 2 drinks in her hand. The matriarch of fashion, secrets to her glasses. You can't look away. Ask her, does she do it? There's really nothing to it. She's got that feminine game. If you have a party, or if you're feeling naughty, call up the House of LeMay. Here comes your favorite gal. Here comes your queen. Here comes the talk of the town. And we're live tonight. The music starts playing. It's time for cabareting. And we're live tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, please turn off all cell phones and get ready for your host, Amber LeMay.
NYPD gives Proud Boys free subway rides. After disrupting a drag story hour event at a Queens library, the NYPD let the Proud Boys ride the subway without paying. The NYPD has said that they were trying to move the group to de-escalate the situation. Why didn't they just tell them to leave like they would have done for anyone else? NYPD, the Proud Boys should be labeled as domestic terrorists and not given free rides. Why is he in Congress? George Santo must be removed. The lies he told are almost as numerous as a week of Trump's tweets on Truth Social. Santos lied about high school, his college degrees, his work for Citigroup and Goldman Sachs, owning 13 rental properties, being Jewish, and having grandparents who survived the Holocaust, having employed 4 victims of the Pulse nightclub massacre, etc., etc. He is under investigation for these lies, and now he is under investigation in Brazil for charges relating to a stolen checkbook. He's under investigation in 2 countries. Listen carefully, Republicans. This man needs to go. Barbie core. Everyone wants to be Barbie, and pink is the hot trend now known as Barbie core. Celebrities up and down the red carpet are turning it pink. In 2023, a Barbie movie is coming out. Fashionistas everywhere are getting into Barbie pink. And while I could get into Barbie dresses, what I would much rather do is get into Ken's pants. What is Don Jr. selling now? Try and guess what grift the Trump family is up to get more MAGA money from the pockets of their supporters. Bibles! To be exact, the We the People Bible, which Don's website says was designed with the Patriot in mind and features a vertical reversed American flag design that represents a country in distress. If Don Jr. has actually ever read a Bible, he probably worships the Father, the money, and the Holy Coke. Happy New Year! Oh, I was wound up, wasn't I? So glad to see you tonight. Happy New Year 2023. We're here starting our 4th year of Amber Live. So I want you to like, share, and subscribe, please, because you're not going to want to miss anything we have coming up for you this coming year. So, what does our favorite ginger, pornography, and late night brawls have in common? They're all a part of this briefs. Oh, spare me. Or rather, I'll spare you from having to buy Prince Harry's book, Spare, that hits the bookshelves on Tuesday. Juicy parts leaked last week when the book inadvertently went on sale in Spain. Olé! Some of the highlights or lowlights, depending on your sense of depravity, is a battle royale. Apparently, now king-in-waiting William didn't care for Harry's engagement to his future bride, Meghan. Harry writes, "It all happened so fast. He grabbed me by the collar, ripping my necklace, and he knocked me to the floor. I landed on the dog's bowl, which cracked under my back, the pieces cutting into me." Harry wrote that the incident left a visible injury to his back. Remember when Harry wore a Nazi uniform to a costume party? Oh, yeah. He blames Big Bro Willie for encouraging him to do so. Now, William and Harry did agree on one thing, as did most of the world. Their father, now King Charles, shouldn't have married Camilla. Harry recounts, I remember wondering if she would be cruel to me, if she would be like all the evil stepmothers in the stories. He now says their relationship is complicated. A new building may be put on England's National Registry. This is where Harry claims he lost his virginity at the age of 17 in a field behind this pub. And in a final TMI, if Harry looked a bit uncomfortable at his brother's wedding, it was because, as he put it, he was suffering from a frost-nipped penis. He had recently been to the North Pole, and let's hope this is how his pole was frosted. Now, if you plan on going to Louisiana and you enjoy watching some online pornography, better make sure you have a government-issued photo ID. Ooh, that's a good driver's license picture if I do say so myself. A new Louisiana law makes porn sites liable for content deemed harmful to minors if it doesn't install age verification technology for anyone accessing the websites. Now, I may not be able to figure out a way around this, but I'm sure there's a 12-year-old boy in Baton Rouge who's already cracked the code. This law was introduced by Representative Lori Schlegel, who also supported a transgender sports ban for high schools. Must not be any real serious issues to solve down on the bio. Now, did you miss the Friday night fights on the floor of the U.S. Capitol? In case you had better things to do this weekend, as the House was preparing to go to ballot 15, this happened. That was Congressman Mike Rogers of Alabama going after Florida accused pedophile and trafficker of young girls, Matt Gaetz. Now, in the scuffle, Rogers' toupee was able to stay in place. Now, that's some wig glue. And that's this week's News Briefs. All right, start of a new year. Let's bring in Russell.
Amber!
Russell, Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! Oh my God, it's season 4. Can you believe that?
And we haven't done this for like 3 weeks, so
the button pushing is a little rusty here, so forgive me if I make a goof.
Oh no, but we have a great show coming up. So, but I know we've got new people watching. It's a new year, so what's the best way for them to watch?
Well, the best way for everyone to watch is on YouTube, and we recommend you watch on YouTube because we're in full HD there, and that's youtube.com/AmberLive. Or if you're watching through our website, amberlive.tv, you're also watching basically straight from YouTube, so it's the same thing. And then I want to remind people that we've got a TikTok, as you saw at the beginning of the show, an Instagram, and even Facebook, where there's lots and lots of Amber to be seen and heard. Now, if you can't watch Amber, but you want to listen, I take the interviews and I turn them into a podcast, and you can hear the interviews with all of our amazing guests on the Amber Live interviews, and those play anywhere where you can find a great podcast. So you can find Amber in all kinds of places. So please go out there, subscribe, and follow to all those channels. Help us out. Spread the word. It'll be a great thing. So,
it's great. Already we're seeing responses from people from West Virginia, Ohio, Vermont, and I see New York as well. Oh, great. Thank you so much for joining us. All right. So we've been doing Amber Chat. We've done like over 90 episodes of Amber Chat, where on Wednesday nights we just get on and talk. We've cut that down from every week to the first Wednesday of every month. And we had a great chat on Wednesday. And Russell, you weren't there, and people were wondering what was going on with you. And, I may have created some rumors about what
rumors. Well, the truth of the matter, the truth is pretty interesting. Actually, I had a college friend here who arrived just about an hour and a half before Amber Chat at the end of a 19-hour flight from Singapore. So he was here for less than 24 hours. He left the next morning. So he and I spent some time hanging out and talking because I haven't seen him in a while. So it was just one of those things. But you got the amazing Dwayne Scott Tierney to kick in as your co-host, and I hear it was a great show.
Well, the stories that we made up were much more interesting than what you said.
Well, there were some other stories around what Rob did when he got here. So
okay.
you can
All
only
right.
imagine 19 hours has an effect on someone.
Oh my God. I hope he took a shower. Do we have a caption picture tonight?
We do. And so for our new viewers, if you'd like to take a look at this picture, if you've got a funny caption for that photo, which is themed to our New Year's kickoff here, we're partying with the dogs, send it in the comments. Please label it as a caption so that Jack can see it and know what it is. Although I think Rusty might be kicking in tonight and taking care of the comments. So but send in your funny comments about that photo in the comments section and label it as a caption.
Oh,
and at the end of the show, we'll look at them.
Oh, I love hearing what our viewers have to say. And there's something else you want to talk to the viewers about as well.
Of course. And that's one of my favorite things because it's so important to keeping Amber Live streaming every week. And that's the bustiers. And here you can see, this is last year's list of bustiers. And I even see some of our guests on it. And there's our super bustiers and our regular bustiers, and they all contributed, made a donation to help keep the show going. And if you see that Venmo there, Venmo at RJD Pro, you can send your donation there, or you can use a credit card at amberlive.tv to help us pay the bills, because there are a lot of bills to this game. And if you give $25 or more, you get one of our great Amber Live stickers with our logo on it. For $100 or more, you get a sticker and a magnet. And for $200 or more, you get a sticker, a magnet, and a mug with our brand new logo on the mug. And eventually we'll get caught up and get brand new logos for all of those levels. So thank you again. Please use that Venmo at RJD Pro, or use your credit card at amberlive.tv if you'd like to become a bustier. And I think next week I may do what I did last year and clear the board and start over. So
that's right. Okay, now our guest tonight, we're starting our fourth season. What episode is this of us?
145,
yes.
I think.
Yes. Since March 22nd of 2020, we've had 145 episodes, and tonight's guests are major parts of those episodes and the reasons we continue. So tell us about them, Russell.
Oh my goodness, do we have a great group of guests and some wonderful, we were having such a great conversation before the show. We almost didn't even do the show. So first up, we have Brad Forenza coming in, who you all know from his podcast Around the Sun with his amazing guests. And that's just going to be so much fun to hear what's new with Around the Sun. And I think we even have a little clip promoting it. So we'll get to talk to Brad again. He's been on the show a number of times now. And then we have Yolanda, our dear friend from many, many years ago. We first got to know Yolanda, and the love relationship just continues. And Yolanda's going to sing us a song and tell us what she's up to these days. And then we have François Clemmons, the man who it has become tradition for him to help us kick off the new year. And we just love having him here. And I'm sure he's got some great stories and maybe even a song
or two. It's an hour show.
He'll sing fast, I promise. But it's going to be a great show.
And we have Rusty Peen coming in, and Rocco, of course. So we've got a great hour, or another hour. We've got at least another hour coming up. So stay tuned, and thank you very much, Russell. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year to everyone. Enjoy season 4.
Seriously, a lot of our amazing guests have come via Brad Forenza. And Brad Forenza is starting season 2 of his podcast. And let's watch this video.
What's happening? Who speaks for the desert? This is it. Think you feel just like us. Stay where you are and don't move.
Such a cruel, cruel planet.
It was quite layered. But if you look back now, the peaks and valleys of planet Earth have all evened out. See?
No.
It doesn't look so rocky from up here. It's just a blue and green composite now.
Still feels uneven.
I understand, Maud, but you gotta be in it to win it.
We were supposed to return with a deeper understanding of things, but I'm more screwed up now than when we went down there.
It'll come into focus eventually.
Intelligent life, my foot.
Brad, come on in.
Hi, Amber.
Happy New Year, Brad. Thank you so much.
Here, thank you.
Now, that clip is different from past episodes of Around the Sun, isn't it?
Yes, it's a little preview, and it features my voice as the wide-eyed alien and 3-time Oscar nominee Piper Laurie's voice as the disgruntled alien. And in spite of her storied career, I don't think she ever played a disgruntled alien before.
Amazing, or as we like to say,
Totally.
Amazing. That is so cool. Let's give a brief recap of how you started Around the Sun, its purpose, and where you are now.
Yeah, well, thank you for helping Around the Sun to grow. We now have 2 full complete seasons of episodic audio drama content available for everyone to stream wherever they get their podcasts. Season 1 features Dr. François Clemmons tonight, and season 1 took place in New York City. Season 2, which features Ms. Laurie and others, takes place in a nondescript part of the American Southwest, the desert. And what you just heard is a brief little teaser for our season 2 finale.
Tell us more about some of the actors in Around the Sun.
Oh, gosh. Wow. Well, if I start naming names, I know that I'm going to inadvertently leave someone out. So I'll tell you that season 2, which we just wrapped, includes alphabetically Adasa from Encanto, Caroline Aaron from Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Mindy Cohn from The Facts of Life,
Really?
Richard Kind from Everything, Richard Klein. Everyone has many, many credits, but Richard Klein from Three's Company, among other things, and Jenny Kwan from Avatar: The Last Airbender. We've got 3 more. Piper Laurie, who I referenced. We've got Taylor Purdie. We've got Bruce Valanche, Emmy-winning writer of award shows and guest on Amber Live.
Yes, Bruce Valanche. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for hooking us up for that interview. He was fascinating and so much fun to talk to.
It's perfect symmetry among brands, yours, mine, and his.
What how do you promote Around the Sun? What is your audience and how do you reach out to them?
Yeah, well, I learn as I go here. So thanks to you, Amber and Russell, and a wonderful team that is part of Amber Live. The word gets out to a new group of people. And thanks to someone like Bruce Valanche, someone like Dr. François Clemmons, the word gets out to their people to the point where our season 2 audience was 20% international, which is just kind of mind-blowing to me. And we also, without doing too much self-promotion, Dr. François Clemmons, you can't see it, but he wrote a foreword for the source material, all of the scripts that comprise Around the Sun. So it keeps growing and growing, and who knows where it will continue to grow to, but thank you for all your help thus far in the last 2 seasons.
Your scripts are in a book now that's available?
Correct. The book is called Vignettes, and it's all the textual source material for the episodes that people hear wherever they get their podcasts.
And how can people access that book?
Amazon, without, promoting them too much, but it's kind of unavoidable. Sure. Amazon and other online book entities through aroundthesun.com, through authenticallybrad.com. And yeah, that's how they can find it. That's the best way to find it.
You've had 2 seasons. You said season 2 just wrapped up. How long did it take you to develop a season?
Great question. The first season that Dr. Clemmons was part of and took place in New York City, I had those pieces mostly in the bag prior to the pandemic. And then the pandemic helped me reconceptualize them for this blossoming podcast medium. It's like a flashback to the days of radio plays. Season 2 was a challenge for me, but a welcome one, because I had to write everything for that podcast landscape. So I had a year, which sounds like a lot of time, but when you think about writing 10 completely new episodes, casting them and producing them, and then in post-production, the episodes get edited before they ultimately reach the people, and then you worry about distribution and promotion. Thank you again for helping on that front. So it's a year-long process. And season 2 was a real welcome challenge for me to produce it for the online podcast audio drama landscape. I think
season 2 takes place in the Southwest. Did you visit the Southwest?
Yeah, visited the Southwest last summer, but I had been there before, maybe never to the desert. The episodes were already in the bag, and my partner and I were already planning to go out to Palm Springs in Southern California. And it was while we were in Joshua Tree National Park that he said, hey, get that camera out, because you could be getting some good footage here. So then it becomes not only a mindful exercise and a mindful adventure in Joshua Tree, as we were talking about earlier in the green room, it also becomes an artistic experience. And my partner's super, ooper, duper patient in helping me through all that stuff.
What are your plans for season?
Can we do it again? Am I sweating? Yes.
What are your plans for season 3?
So we've got one season in our beloved New York City. We've got one season in the super duper hot Southwest. And I think since good things do come in threes, maybe something cold is on the horizon.
Well, I'd say Vermont, but we haven't seen much cold yet this year. So, but you're welcome to come up to Vermont anytime. Brad, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much for the support you've given to Amber Live. The guests that you've introduced us to, phenomenal. Thank you so much. We're going to have Brad back later on to join a group conversation. So thank you so much, Brad. All right, now, I wonder what Rusty Peen has been doing over the holidays. Let's find out.
Thinking and drinking with Rusty Peen. Dude, Happy New Year! You know what they say, new year, new Peen. Welcome to another edition of Thinking and Drinking. I'm Rusty Peen from the Beaver Pond Doing It Yourself Club. Because if there's one thing I know about, it's doing it with yourself. And today, on Thinkin' Drinkin', we're drinking a Coors Light, dude. Because, dude, this can is full of gimmicks. When your beer is cold, the mountains turn blue. And we're from the Green Mountain state of Vermont. And I ain't never seen no blue mountains, so, dude, count me in. Let's do it up right here, dude. Yup. Dude, keeping with the doing it yourself theme, we're going to be doing a whole bunch of self-improvement today, because the new year is time for all sorts of self-improvement, home improvement, and Ma Peen always says, Rusty, you could always use some self-improvement, but that's like calling a turd a turd. Anyway, dude, we got all the materials that we need right here for putting up a shelf for paper towel holders. So, dude, let's get to work, bud. Okay, dude, we got all the materials right here, and we got the instructions. So the first thing that we're gonna do, safety first, is we gotta put on safety glasses. So let's go ahead and put on the safety glasses. Okay, bud, now we can get to work on the rest of the project. And since we got all the materials, bud, right here, we don't really fucking need these instructions no more. So let's just say goodbye. And that's the end of that, bud. Dude, nothing to worry about, bud. Yup. Okay, bud, take your power tools and just start screwing away, bud. Yup. You'll start 2 fires in one day, bud. Yup. Of course, if you can't screw it up into the cabinet, you can always just go straight into the wall, bud. Yup. Put the level on it. Make sure that the bubble is there. Okay, dude. So now you just screw it into the wall, bud. Bunny goes around the tree. The bunny gets screwed in the wall, bud. Just like that. And dude, just like that, we got a perfectly functional paper towel holder, bud. You could put it on with the paper towel in the front. You could, dude, if you want to be a sociopath, you could put the roll backwards like this with the flap in the back. Dude, paper towels for days, bud. That's all the time we got for today on Thinking and Drinking. I'm Rusty Peen. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and write me in the comments to let me know what you're thinking and what you're drinking, and also what some of your doing it with yourself home improvement projects are. Y'all? Thinking and Drinking with Rusty Peen.
Yes, write your comments in the comments section right now. Thank you. All right, our next guest. I've known Yolanda for well over 30 years. We've performed together, we work together, and I'm just so happy to have Yolanda back to the show tonight. Yolanda, come on in. Hey, Yolanda, you're muted, girl. I want to talk to you. I just want to look out at your pretty self. There you go. Oh, Yolanda, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, my love. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you and to see everyone. Wow.
Oh,
everybody's just doing great. I'm so proud of us all.
You know, it's the Amber Live family right now.
Yeah.
Yolanda, what are you doing now? What's your current project?
Oh my goodness. Okay, Amber, I'm going to tell y'all something that happened, which may lead to something else. But right now, I haven't been able to share it with, anybody at all because we weren't supposed to. But now it's already, this part of the thing has already happened, so I can share a little bit about it. Okay, so there's a musical theater piece being developed on the show Transparent, right? You know, the TV show Transparent. Okay. So there was a workshop production of this new theater piece here in New York City. And mind you, this was a workshop production, but I was cast as Mara. And I got to play Mara in this production. And Amber, I'm telling you, it was the privilege of my life. It was amazing. So that just happened in December, and I'm still like experiencing all the feelings from that. And there will be a further development, on the project. However, I don't have a contract for any further. But we'll see. So we'll see. How it.
Are they planning on it to be a play or a musical?
A musical, yeah. And the music is amazing. Like, I love this music. Like, it's oh my God. And the book, everything is stunning about this piece. And I so want to do it. So send me all your good vibes and everybody, but I had the privilege of being able to play that role, even, in the workshop production. I was just.
Now, how does that work? How does that work that they contact you or you get in that they know about you? And how does that work?
So, Amber, I've been working at this for 30 years. I mean, truly, sister friend,
Yeah.
one thing led to another finally, where a casting agency that I didn't know, I've done, since I moved back to New York after Vermont, I really hit it hard. Like I've worked hard, sweetie, in this town. I really have. And I've played shows and done and tried and sold tickets and created events and I've worked hard and won awards and everything. And I've never had the opportunity to do anything mainstream in any, with money and a production and that I didn't have to pay for and that I didn't have to promote, and all of that kind of, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So this was the first time. And honey, I'm 66. And whoa, shit, so how does it happen? I cannot tell you. All I can say is that this was the greatest thing I've ever done, really, and I hope I continue to be cast in the next version of it. I just oh my god.
One of my favorite memories of you or experiencing you was one night I was watching the Dave Chappelle show. Oh yeah. And there's these two hookers out of the sidewalk. I go, "Is that Yolanda?" And yes, you were on the Dave Chappelle show.
Oh, these sweet comments on the board. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Both Amber and I have worked our asses off for 30 years. And look at you, Amber. Go. This is such a success. It's so wonderful.
What do you think? I didn't mean to bring this up, but I did. Dave Chappelle. What do you think of his comments and the criticism he's been getting recently?
Oh gosh, I don't follow any of that or anything. Okay. I wouldn't even be able to answer that at all.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry.
I think he's funny, and I think he's a comedian doing his job.
When I was on the Chappelle show, me and Hedda were on that episode, Hedda Levis, yes. And we, I got it through Hedda. I mean, she booked, all kinds of TV things and stuff, and we were real close there, for a while, and then she left New York, and she lives in I believe Puerto Vallarta, I believe.
Yeah.
And anyway, so cool, but that came through Hedda, and we were just having fun, and we met Dave Chappelle, but that was early in his career, you know what I mean? And we were just on for that thing. So, and I've never followed Dave Chappelle after that. He barely like crosses my, mind, but that was a fun thing to do. I mean, especially with Hedda, she is a riot.
Well, we met her at the same weekend when she came to Burlington.
Exactly.
And did a couple of nights at Pearls. Yeah. She was just hysterical.
Goddess bless Pearls. Pearls.
That was almost 30 years ago. Yes.
Can you believe it? I'm nuts.
Yolanda, you're coming back to Burlington on February 18th for the Winters of Drag Ball again. Yeah. You created the first one. This is the 28th annual Winter is a Drag Ball. I believe it is the longest running annual event in Burlington right now. And so I can't wait for that night. And you're going to be performing, and you want to perform tonight. So
yes. Oh, I'm so happy. Thank you for letting me sing. Hold on.
Yes. Exciting.
Well, hi, here's my good big red guitar. And I'm going to put my glasses on so I can make sure I see. You know how it is.
So Yolanda, this year, New Year's Eve, I was with friends in Detroit, and they said, "Oh, we've got a surprise for you." And I didn't know what it was, but they turned on Slingbacks and Syrup, the documentary that we made, 16 years ago, that Russell produced. And you did the music to it, and they were just so impressed with the music and everything, that the community that we have here in Burlington. And so that was really nice. But they praised your music, and it was really nice
That's fantastic. Thank you, Amber, for telling me that. I love that film. Isn't it fun to see how we like our lives track, right? So to see how the music that I wrote at the time we were talking about your story and everything like that and all that, it just meshed so perfectly together. It was just so great. We are intertwined forever, girl. Don't you even try to get away.
I'm fine with that. All right. So let's hear your song, please.
Okay. Although I speak with tongues of men and angels, and though I prophesy and understand the world, and though I have all faith to say to mountains you must go away, but have not love. And though I feed the poor and give up my life, if love has no place in me, then what am I? If I do not have charity, if love does not flow from me, then what is life? Love divine. Love divine, love divine. Love is patient, love is kind, and love is wise. Love can never come from a jealous mind. It's never proud but gentle meek. Resistance is not what it seeks. It sets the mind at peace. And love's the one that sings when the truth prevails. Love believes in good when it looks like hell. And love's the one that bears the wrong. Love's the one that's always strong and never fails. And when I was a child, I acted as a child. But now I can heal myself from those times. The looking glass no longer dark. I see the light that's shining there within my heart. Love divine, love divine, love divine.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Where can people listen to more of your music?
Yolanda.net/audio.
All right. Oh, thank you so much. We're going to have you back later on for our group conversation.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks at Winners of Drag.
I can't wait either. Okay, my love.
Right.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Yolanda. Hey, Russell, come on in. Russell, where are you? Where'd you go?
Pushing buttons, pushing buttons. I got Rocco texting me and all kinds of craziness going on here. So.
All right.
He'll be here. He'll be here.
Oh, we've got more coming up.
We do. We have a lot more coming up. We got François Clemmons. Can't wait for that. And then all of our guests will come back in for a little talk back after that about things that are going on. And then we've got Rocco. And then I think Rusty might even pop in for a little while. So it's
is Boog and Shug starting off the new year?
Some Boog and Shug for the new year as well.
What more could we ask for? Let's show that caption picture one more time.
Okay, so if you've got a funny caption for this picture, please send it in the comments so that it can be added to our list of captions. And at the end of the show, we'll go through them and have some good laughs. And please label it as a caption so that we know what it is. But I think that's a great one for the new year. Some dogs partying.
Oh, and one more reminder from you.
Yes, for the bustiers. So we really do need your help to keep things going. And so you can use that Venmo at RJD Pro, or if you'd like to use a credit card, go to amberlive.tv and look for the donate button. And thank you to all our bustiers. And we really, really, really appreciate your help. And you're the people that keep us going. So thank you.
Yeah, it's your fault. It's your fault.
All right.
All right, Russell, let's get back to the show.
Oh, and it's going to be a good second half.
All right. Half. Yes. I believe the number one guest of all time who's appeared the most times is François Clemmons. And we're so happy to have him back one more time. François, come on in.
All right.
Hi, Diva Man.
Oh, what a wonderful first half. It's so inspiring. Wonderful to see you, Amber.
Oh, it's wonderful to see you. And you know what? You inspire me so much. You know, whenever I'm feeling down, I'm thinking, what would Francis do? You know, François do? What would he do? And you just brighten me up. And
he would sing a song.
At least one.
Yeah, at least one. I mean, really, it's just been wonderful with Brad and with Randy, Yolanda, you know, and some of that other stuff too.
François, what's going on in your life right now?
Well, I'm beginning to perform again. I feel healthy. I've been traveling. I went down to Brooklyn to do a performance. I went to what is it called, Franklin Pierce College. I did one. So I'm beginning to, you know, my agency is going to book me out. I'm working on a second book and a third manuscript. So I spend a lot of time in this space. This is my office. And it's been very spiritual to write about prayer and the song that, you know, Yolanda was singing about the light in her eyes. Such a beautiful image that I'll be thinking about that while I'm writing.
Your books, you talked about manuscript. Any movie developments or TV, anything like that coming out?
Well, I don't want to speak too soon, but I did a children's book called Little Buttercup and the Magic King. Ooh. And a wonderful gentleman, Jason Williams, out in California, did the illustrations. They are gorgeous. Elizabeth is shopping that first volume to see if there's a public publisher interested, but it lends itself to animation. And quite frankly, I'm very excited about what Jason came up with. There's another book called Deep Thought, Deep Something, which a woman, Bethany Hedges down in Austin, Texas, she has written that is also being shopped. So I have a couple of children's books that should be out there. I'd say within the year they will be out. And hopefully another one of my manuscripts, which is like Officer Clemmons #2. I'm continuing to discuss how I grew outside of Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. And I think if people will find it a very powerful statement. It's not a children's book. Now, it's not about drinking beer and peeing, but it's an adult book. So everyone is warned. And so that keeps me busy.
If they were to make a movie of your first book, who would you like to see play you?
Oh my Lord! Well, you know, Bo is the gentleman who played uh, Wakanda Forever.
Oh, yes, yes.
What was his name? Shucks. Anyway, I wanted him, and now I've got to look over the pickings and see who else I would like to have. Chadwick Boseman. Somebody
Yes,
saved
yes.
me. Thank you. He was so handsome that he was perfectly me. Now I would do the singing, but he could appear on the camera.
You'd be his backup. You'd be behind him. Is that
Oh,
what
will
you're
I ever
saying?
have him backing up? I could be his backup. I thought he was so sweet. So, there was something
Mhm.
extraordinary about him.
And
And
the roles that he played were so diverse, and
yes,
but he gave everything to them.
yes. Oh, it's such a sweet thought. And he died too young. By our standards,
Much,
he died too young.
much, much, much. Oh, so you've got those book deals going on, and you're
Yes,
writing a lot. Anything else
yes.
going on?
Well, you know, I've been traveling and singing, so I've started a project called 400 Years, and it's a collection of American Negro spirituals, and maybe approximately 9, 10, 11 spirituals. This has been a dream of mine. I'm working with a wonderful young man, Ronnie Romano, who just graduated from Middlebury College, and he's like a genius pianist. And so he's been accompanying me on these songs. And my dream would be to publish that album before I go on across to the other side. So he and I have been working on it pretty faithfully with another project manager who's been organizing some of that stuff. But I get to sing things like Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, This Little Light of Mine. He's got the whole world in his hand. I just come from the fountain. They're just wonderful spirituals that I just love.
And
So.
you'd like to sing a song for us tonight. Tell us about this
Well,
song.
as a matter of fact, I would, and I have to tell you, this is not a spiritual. My specialty are American Negro spirituals. But Dr. King's national celebration is coming up on January 16th. So that Monday, I
A
will
week
be
from
singing.
Monday.
And I thought it would be appropriate if I shared with you a song called Precious Lord, which was Dr. King's favorite song. Is that okay?
Yes, it is. Take it away.
All right. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I'm tired. I am weak. I am worn through the storm, through the night. Lead me home to the light. Take my hand, precious Lord, and lead me home. When my life grows drear, precious Lord, linger near. When my life is all must gone, hear my cry, yeah, hear my call, hold my hand, lest I fall. Take my hand, precious Lord, and lead me home. Amen.
Tell us the history of that song.
Well, it was written by Thomas Dorsey, who's considered the father of gospel music. And in the early 20s, to the best of my knowledge, his wife and his child were lost in I think it was an automobile accident. And he went into a deep depression. You know, he used to play the piano in like a honky-tonk sites for Mahalia Jackson, and then he went with her to church. She wouldn't sing in those places. So he toured and played honky-tonk, and he became converted to a more religious statement for himself. And this Precious Lord is one of the first songs that he wrote, asked God to hold his hand, because he felt so distraught, he didn't feel he could go on.
And that just has stuck with the community.
Oh, yes. He did other songs also, which I'm at a loss right now. I can't think of a couple of the other of his songs, but they were rather famous. But because they were gospel songs, it's not really my forte. But I love to sing those songs. And as a boy growing up, I sang, I don't know about tomorrow, but I know who holds my hand. And the one that everybody loves, Amazing Grace. And the reason I say it that way is that it was written by a white man, Newton. It was not by a black slave, because the slave songs were in the fields in the South and the plantations. And here we have this wonderful song, Amazing Grace, by a white man who used to be a slave trader, and he too had a conversion. And when he had the conversion, he no longer had slave ships, and he listened to the slaves, and he also tried to convert them to Christianity. He lived a very interesting life, traveling on his ships and all over from England down to the west coast of Africa to America. That was the route, and he changed. So that was another one of those great songs. But Thomas Dorsey is in that tradition.
What inspired you to learn the history of all these?
First of all, I'm a fanatic, and these songs were the kind of stuff that I wanted to know about Black American history, which I was not being taught in school. And so I had a high school teacher who said, well, you know, you really want to read about Roland Hayes and Marian Anderson and Paul Robeson and Dorothy Maynard. She named all these. I'd never heard of these people. She said they're Black people and they love to sing opera. And they do concerts not only in America, but in Europe and in Asia. And so she said, she helped me find the books in the library, and they began to just give me one after the other. And that was my first basic learning experiences, because I couldn't get enough. And so I read everything I could get my hands on. The librarian was my friend, and she was passing them on as quick as I finished one. She gave me the other. They also introduced me to the Harlem Renaissance in the 1920s, when you have Langston Hughes, Claude McKay, Countee Cullen, what's her name? Anyway, a bunch of the writers. And I began to read their poems. And many of the great inspired poems for Black people came from the Harlem Renaissance in the 20s. Well, that leads on you right on up to James Baldwin and to what's her name? Toni Morrison, and the other writers. They all come out of that tradition in the 20s. And Maya Angelou, she was one of the outstanding writers who came a little bit later. But I read Maya Angelou and Gwendolyn Brooks out of Chicago, first Black woman to win a Pulitzer Prize. I just couldn't get enough. So this became my habit, my forte. I began to write about it, and I'd also write questions and ask them questions about what they were doing. And everybody was so generous and so forthcoming. And you know who was one of my most favorite singers? She's not in any of these categories. Was Nina Simone. And she had an anger and a fire, a smoldering quality. But when she said Mississippi goddamn, I knew what she meant by that. And there were a bunch of others that she sang that I just loved, Nina Simone. And I got to meet her and spend time with her. And you know, she was so nice, but she wasn't nice to everybody. That's how she got her reputation. But she's not the only one. You know, there are a lot of strong women, and a lot of times they get very negative reputations because they speak their mind. They tell you what to do or get out.
Which men would not be looked down on for doing that because they were just doing it. Yes,
they were doing it. They never thought about it twice. They said he's a man, he's the boss. He tells you to do this, he tells you to do that. But when you have a woman like Diana Ross was like that, or you have Jessie Norman was like that, if she said she wanted something, you got it, you did it. And there are some others who insisted on things that made their lives very comfortable, a certain amount of privacy, and a certain amount of respect and understanding. Because almost all of us spend a lot of time practicing. And, you know, I'm not a spring chicken anymore, but I love practicing, rehearsing, doing what I'm doing. I do it every single day. This is my cave and my palace. And I just get up in the morning. And since I live alone, I just walk right from the bedroom and sit down and see what the universe wants me to write about.
Well, I think the universe wants you to sing another song. Is that possible?
Oh, yes, Lord. I'll sing. I have my book. I have it right here in front of me. I've been in the storm so long. I've been in the storm so long, chillin'. I've been in the storm so long. Lord, give me a little time to pray. I've been in the storm so long. I've been in the storm so long, chillin'. I've been in the storm so long. Lord, give me a little time to pray. Now, when I get to heaven, gonna take my seat. Lord, give me a little time to pray, and I'll cast my crown at my Savior's feet. Lord, give me a little time to pray. I've been in the storm so long. I've been in the storm so long, chillin'. I've been in the storm so long. Lord, give me a little time to pray. Now let me tell my mama how I come along. Lord, give me a little time to pray with a humble heart and a broken soul. Lord, give me a little time to pray. I've been in the storm so long. I've been in the storm so long, chillin'. I've been in the storm so long. to pray. Amen.
Thank you so much, Diva Man.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you.
so welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I
All right.
always come prepared for you.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. All right. So let's bring our past guests, Brad and Yolanda, back in because I'd like to talk about a few things. Now, do any of you have any questions for some of the other guests before we get started?
You're all amazing. Like truly, the amount of talent in this room is just kind of blowing my mind. Wow, Brad, like a direct way to access your project. I'm sorry. I'm sure it's in the chat or something, but how do we find you really quickly?
Wherever you listen to
Around
podcasts
us.
and
Yeah.
aroundthesunpodcast.com, and Yolanda, Dr. Diva Man, amazing spirituality and art all in one, thanks to Amber.
Thanks to Amber.
Thank you
We
so
love
much,
you, Amber.
It's the world we live in. All right, I want to get into a little bit serious conversation. In the past several months, there's been a lot of attacks on the drag, the trans, the gay communities. What can be done to stop this, or what prompted it? What's going on here? I know Yolanda, you've had personal experience with this.
When I travel, and I travel all over the country, I tell everybody that we're all individuals. We have a right to love and to be loved. No one, who am I to judge, to quote the Pope? But Fred Rogers said that all the time, that he learned, because initially, he didn't want me to come out as gay. And then by the time 1985, he was saying, well, do whatever you want to do, but keep it slow, low, and don't make it so flamboyant. So I began to slowly come out of the closet, because he says everyone has the right to love somebody, friends. And he completely changed his attitude about. So I think we need people like that to grow, to be allowed to change, to be encouraged to change. And I usually bring the subject up because there are lots of people who are in their 60s, 50s, who watch Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, who have changed tremendously. And they are adults. So you can have an adult discussion with them. Now,
Yolanda?
Oh, no, I was looking at the comment. The first person you should learn to love is yourself. And that's a great starting point for how I use my energy around these kinds of subjects. Right. Okay. So yes, I've had, so I work with Drag Queen Story Hour here in New York City. I was one of the founding storytellers, whatever. So we've been doing it now for 5 years or whatever. There is an upswing in, like, at first we didn't have protests or whatever. With the rise of Trumpism and all of that kind of thing, of course, it's uprooted and given permission to people of this persuasion, if you will, to come out of the woodwork and stuff like that. So we're going to see. It's not as surprising to me that we're seeing it, right? So my strongest message right now is, yes, learn how to truly love yourself and build community with others, that you are connecting with community around you that is interested in creating a future that embraces all folks, right? You know what I mean? Like, so that we focus on that and, and look at our personal solutions, going forward, bringing as many people along with us to create this world that we know exists. So this old paradigm is kicking and screaming, but it's dying. We have to remember that it is dying. And unfortunately, our boomer generation, Amber, took this crazy turn and decided to become whatever. I'm not going to label and go into stuff, but teaching the teaching, that continues, that dehumanizes people, is dying. And working with Drag Queen Story Hour in many situations in many states gives me the opportunity and the inspiration to go forward, because people want to bring children into the world that have a grasp of diversity and that want to live in a world where people get along with each other and have civil respect for each other. Like, come on, like that's just really not hard to do, right? I mean, so this uprising that we see in violence, it's always been there. It's been, I grew up in Alabama, KKK. It's always there. It's always there. It's that it's now has been given permission by a certain, group of circumstances, like, that Trump put in to motion. You know what I mean? So here we are. So what are we going to do? We've got to build community, in my opinion. And, that's our step forward.
Brad, what are your observations?
Yeah, please. I'm sorry. I'm like,
no, I love hearing from you, and I don't have anything particularly prophetic or sage to say, but I would agree. It's cliche, but you've got to be taught to hate the other or to fear the other, and people act from a place of scarcity when they're unfamiliar with someone and their way of life. And I really appreciate Reverend Yolanda's visual in my head of an old way of life kind of clinging on to the way things have been. But I agree with Reverend Yolanda and Dr. Clemmons. That's not the future.
No,
I've heard Diva Man sing, "You've got to be carefully taught."
Oh,
yes.
I remember that,
it's
and
perfect.
people remark about it, and it's an interesting thing how powerful a song is. That's why I was saying the song that you sang about the light in your eyes. That's a powerful image, and so when people hear "You've got to be carefully taught," or "There are many ways to say I love you," or "I love you just the way you are," I sing all of those to these adults. The ones I mentioned to you, 60 and 55 and 70, they want to hear those songs still because they reach inside.
They do. They're good songs. Yeah, they resonate, Yeah.
And without sounding too Pollyannish, because this can't be wrapped up that neatly. It's all very delicate, volatile, unfortunate stuff. But the arts can help to bring people together. There can be more that unites us. It's cliche, but true. There are universal experiences out there that can be reflected in the arts. And the performances tonight, I'm going to sleep on a nice, happy note. I feel a little closer to God tonight.
And there's some people who think that they discourage the arts because they bring people together. They don't want people to be talking and celebrating and enjoying life. They want to be angry and pitting them against each other.
Yes, I'm very seldom when I traveled around the country. It wasn't the peer singers or the conductors or the composers who were racist as much. It was the one who was the director, the one on the board, who said, "If I give you $1 million, you can't have anybody black."
Oh, yes.
Those were because the more time I spent with my peers, whether they're white, Asian, black, or whatever, I thought, well, what's the problem? And then I began to discover that it was what was happening behind the scenes in the boardrooms. They were saying, "No, you can't do this, you can't do that." And that was very sad to me. For one thing, they were more difficult to get at. They shield themselves with their money and they stay away. And so you don't get to stand tall and say, "This is who I am," because they're gone. They're dizzy and they're gone. Mean.
As we start the new year here, what are your thoughts about starting a new year? Do you make resolutions? Do you have any thoughts about anything recreation of the new year?
Well, I'll speak up quick. I know what I'm doing. I'm very happy 22 is gone because I'm feeling a lot healthier and stronger as the year August, September, October, November, December. I felt much stronger. My voice is stronger. The projects that I was working on seem to be making sense now, and I have a certain sense of optimism that was definitely not here a year ago. So I'm glad it's gone, and I'm still here.
We're looking forward. Brad, what do you have about the new year?
Well, I was just writing for a local paper that my goal is to live more fully in the moment, which sounds, again, a bit idealistic. I'm a planner, and I don't think I can ever divorce myself from being a planner because then I wouldn't have a project to put out in the world. But appreciating the now and the time that we have on this plane,
Yes.
without planning every single moment, is my goal for 23. I liked 22. It was better than 21, but I also hope I can shake some of that pandemic era noise.
I like that. And Yolanda, how about you for the new year?
Wow. So absolutely, Brad, and absolutely, Francois. Like, yes, so totally into your both of y'all's visions. I'm noticing, because I like numerology, that 2023 becomes a 7, when you add it all together and you look at numerology, and that's a high spiritual number. In fact, it's like a very 7 and 11 are like super high spiritual numbers. So we're entering into a high spiritual vibration that can have the effect of reshaping our thoughts about things that have been held onto as rigid beliefs for many, many years and centuries and whatever. So we have an opportunity coming up. So that's how I'm going to look at 2023 as a transformational opportunity, Yeah.
Diva Man, Brad, Yolanda, thank you so much for joining us tonight to kick off our 4th season here on Amber Live. You have helped us make us do what we do. So thank you.
Amen.
We really appreciate it. Love
Congrats.
you all.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year. Thank you, Amber.
Bye. All right. I wonder if Rocco has any advice or anything new to offer us in this new year. How about it, Rocco?
Hey, Amber, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, Rocco. You got a little gravel in your voice? What's going on
Yeah, pardon me. I've been doing a lot of yelling over the Twitter thing. Because, I thought that's how you use Twitter. You yelled at the phone and it would deliver the message.
No.
I was wrong.
Who were you yelling at and what were you yelling?
Well, as you know, there's this new trend going on where you tweet Greta Thunberg and you start saying shit like, hey, I got myself a whole fleet of cars. I got myself a Lotus, couple of Maseratis, couple of Lamborghinis, and I just sit in the driveway and start them all up, revving the engine until there's a smog going on. And then I take my chainsaw and I go cut down all the trees in the yard, and I dance around naked saying, ha ha ha, take that, Greta. And then I celebrate by eating some pizza. Because, you can get away with anything if you just sit around eating pizza. Nobody's going to know where the hell you are.
Oh, wasn't that great? Wasn't that? He thought he was so cocksure, no pun intended. And we know where that pizza place is. We can go find him.
Yeah, right? What a douchebag. First of all, we've all been child trafficking before. I mean, I don't know why it's illegal. I take my kids, I drive into traffic at rush hour, and then that's it. We sit there and they get all upset, and I say, quiet down. It's traffic. What's the big deal?
You don't mean your kids, you mean your nephews and nieces, I think.
Whatever the hell they are. I don't know. those little things that follow me around and want money and stuff. And ice cream. Always ice cream.
Always ice cream. Rocco, it's a new year. What do you hope to happen in 2023 for you?
Oh, geez. Let me tell you, I got some books I've been working on. Obviously, my book of poetry, which has been delayed due to, let's face it, some nurses weren't very cooperative. A couple of lawsuits later, we're in the clear. But
Okay.
I got that. I think I'm going to make a Christmas movie for next year. You know, Rocco Saves Christmas. I go to the North Pole because Santa hasn't been seen for a couple of years. Everyone's like, where the hell's Santa? I'm like, I'll take care of this. So I go up to the North Pole and everything is dark, mysterious. There's cobwebs and everything. And then I find a little elf just sitting in the corner muttering to himself about candy canes and stuff. And I'm like, where the hell's Santa? And he's like, I don't know. So I grab him and we go find Santa somewhere in the North Pole. It's crazy, but it's funny.
Oh, I can see it. I'm visualizing it right now. So are you playing Rocco?
Who the hell else is going to play Rocco? Howard Stern? Come on.
Anything else happening for you this year, Rocco?
Oh, Jesus. Let me tell you. 2022 could suck my butt. All right? That's all I'm going to say.
And not in a good
riddance.
way.
Good riddance. No, not in a good way. That's for sure. So this year, I want to see Amber LeMay's face posted all over the place. I want to be in the corner looking up at Amber going, hey, I know that chick.
From your lips to the great producers in the sky.
Let me tell you, this year's going to happen.
And I hope you aren't talking about seeing me in the post office. My picture in the post office.
Oh, what, again? No.
All right, Rocco. We're going to cut you off before your battery runs down there.
Yeah, and I can't talk anyway.
Nice seeing you, Rocco. Think about coming to Vermont for the drag ball. Hope to see you.
I think I'm going to be there this year.
Oh, don't tease. Don't tease.
I'm not teasing.
Oh,
I want to go.
All right. Hope to see you soon. Thank you, Rocco. Happy New Year.
All right. Happy New Year.
Okay. Let's start wrapping this show up. Jack or Rusty, who's coming in tonight? Who's coming in? It's Rusty.
What
Rusty
year
Peen.
is it?
It's 2023, Rusty.
Dude, it's all the same day. Dude, we just go around the sun. Brad Forenza knows about that. He's got a fucking show named after it, bud.
Yes.
Dude, there's like flat earthers and shit, dude. That's fucking dumb, dude. Brad Forenza, it's called Around the Sun. How can it be flat if we're going around the fucker?
I think that's a good question. You got a little fireball going there, Rusty?
Nah, dude, I got scotch. We got doers tonight, bud.
Ooh. Oh, that's your plaid behind you. Is that what is that Scottish? Is that your
It's a tart. It's a Scottish tart that I picked up on the highway. Dude, I ain't even got a license.
All right. So were you managing the comments tonight?
Yeah, but a lot of people wrote in all sorts of shit and stuff.
Well, do you have any highlights there?
And I'll throw up the comments and I'll throw up some other shit too.
Okay.
But it's good to have a bucket nearby. Okay, buddy, let's get started. Josh said, puppy party.
I think that's
puppy
what
party. It's a puppy party.
Puppy party.
Big J Mowbray said, happy paw year.
Aww.
And in Ohio, it's a party at the Buck's house.
Buck.
Fran wants to know, where's my cane? And if it's anything like the doggies I know, then they're talking about cocaine.
Fran, welcome. I haven't seen you on the show before.
Okay, buddy. Welcome, Fran. Then there was a gap of time before someone wrote some other shit. So I got to scroll through the comments and find those too. Okay, here we go, bud. Johnny says, where's the peanut butter?
And we know what Johnny does with his peanut butter.
Dude, his dogs have those butt plugs that they put the peanut butter in, bud. Crazy Kid says, let's raise the wolf.
Oh, crazy kid. That's funny.
Dude, I
That's
just noticed
funny.
in the background, those doggies have a bag that says Bark Beer. I want to party with those dogs. Just remember,
Those
every
bitch.
dog is either a bitch or a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Okay, bud. New Year's resolution: no more chasing cars. I need to make a similar resolution. Except I get chased by the cop cars and thrown in the drunk tank, bud. And then we got one more. Ron said, sad, rough. Looks like they plan to serve dashing puppy torsos for their picnic. Dude, it's a dog-eat-dog world, bud.
Oh, that crazy Tennessee humor. Well, thank you, Rusty. Russell, why don't you come in and join us here?
Hello.
Good.
Hey,
Happy
Russell.
New Year. So
Happy New Year, Rusty.
This ranks in I think one of our top 5 longest shows that we've had, over 145. Which
I thought
is
you were going to say it's one of our top 5 shows. We've only had about 150 of them.
Quality and quantity. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Every minute was a great one, though, on this show.
Oh,
We got all sorts of songs tonight, bud. That was a good
Yes.
kickoff.
Yes.
But we didn't hear Peen sing. We didn't hear any Peen singing tonight.
Wait, we haven't heard Rusty Peen sing. Well, we can remedy that, bud.
Yeah, I think.
Do you have that commercial handy?
I don't know if I had, sure, I don't.
It's got to be around there. So there it is. I see it now.
What's up, bud? This is Rusty Peen here.
That wasn't the one.
No.
It's the other one.
Yeah.
Are you ready to rock, dude? Get ready for the greatest hits of the generation.
Are you ready to rock, dude? Get ready for the music experience of the century with Pure Peen. Now that's what I call Peen.
Back on my lawn, so I drop kick that fucker in the fucking throat.
Rusty Peen sings the timeless hits in one awesome collection.
Wash that fucker out.
With these timeless classics, you'll be singing them at your next trailer park bonfire.
And the horse said, dude, the odds are 50-1. I'm a long shot, but you should fucking take it, bud. The lotion in the basket, Put the lotion.
Dude, these classics are timeless. Visit amberlive.tv to download your copy. Now with exclusive bonus tracks from the Amber Live Show.
I'm Rusty Peen, and I do some of my best thinking when I've been drinking.
And there is nowhere to go.
Sweet, dude. All of that and more.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Rusty. Russell, what
got
do you
a
have?
song in tonight. Now, dude.
Yeah.
Forenza. We didn't hear that fucker sing.
We'll get Brad singing on another show.
Okay,
To answer your question, Amber, we have some great shows coming up in the future. Next week, we're doing a Winter Rendezvous show, getting everybody ready for Winter Rendezvous so they can find out all about what's going on when they get to Vermont. And
Yes, Winter Rendezvous. Well, before that, next Saturday, I'm judging a chili cook-off here in Burlington. They've asked me to judge. And then the following weekend, Lucy Bell and I will be at Winter Rendezvous. And next week, we're going to tell you all about it with our guests. Who do we have? We've got DJ Craig Mitchell. We've got Debbie Holiday, who does this Tina Turner tribute. We talked to Miss Richfield. We love Miss Richfield. And Jackie Beat. I actually interviewed Jackie Beat, and all of those will be shown next week in preparation for Winter Rendezvous.
Wow, dude. Between the chili and the Winter Rendezvous, sounds like you're in for a spicy couple of weeks, bud.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. And then after that, what's coming up after that, Russell?
Then the week after that, we have Representative Scott Wiener from California, and we interviewed him a few weeks ago about what happened when he had a bomb threat at his office. And
holy shit, dude!
Yeah, he is a out gay Jewish state senator in California, I believe.
Yeah.
And he has experienced all kinds of horrible things directed at him and his staff. And so he's going to come on and talk about that. And then we'll have some part of the Jackie Beat interview where she talks about what's going on with attacks on drag queens. And then we'll have a big update about one of our past guests. So it's going to be a good show then too.
Yeah. So the next couple of weeks, a lot of good stuff coming up, and the rest of the year, we've got some great ideas and shows to bring to you on Sunday night, 8 o'clock Eastern on Amber Live. So thank you very much, Russell. Thank you, Rusty, for filling in for Jack tonight.
Sweet, dude. Happy New Year, bud.
Happy New Year. Oops. A little rusty on the button pushing, apparently.
Rusty's on the button? Thank you so much for joining us tonight on our first show of our 4th year here at Amber Live. Who would have thought? But it's all because of you. Thank you so much for joining us. And I wonder what Boog and Shug have to say about the new year. Let's find out.
I can't believe it's 2023! And it's the start of season 4 of Amber Live! More great guests, more laughs, and more Boog and Shug! Wait, we're part of the show? You don't think we do this stuff for our health, do you?